Good morning. Welcome to Time in His Word. It's kind of foggy out this morning, so I'm a little bit slow getting going. I got a load sometime today. I haven't got till Monday to get to Houston, Texas, so it's not like I'm pressed for time, but I do need to eventually get going. I was trying to think of a verse that I could use with this fog this morning, and I think I found something. Because when you drive in fog, your visibility is reduced greatly depending on how heavy and how thick the fog is. Your bright lights don't work because they bounce back in your eyes. So you need to leave your low beams on so they can kind of see underneath it, if you will, to where you can see the white line. But you can't fixate on the white line on the right. You still got to kind of look ahead as best you can, because people do silly things in the fog. All of a sudden they won't get off the roadway. They'll just put the brakes on and stop on the roadway, and then they get rear-ended, which causes major backups. And also, you can be driving along and it's just as clear as can be, and then you hit a stretch of road and it just becomes foggy. I remember a few years back, down just across the river from Cairo, Illinois, there on Missouri side, they had like a 40-some car vehicle backup. The road was clear, and just before they got to the bridge to cross the river, the fog become just like a whiteout, and there was a multitude of vehicles involved in the accident. So fog is, it's kind of rough to drive in. It just makes you real tense and nervous. Now think about that when you look into a mirror after taking a shower in the bathroom and it's foggy, and you wipe the mirror, you wipe the fog off, but there's still that hazy glaze on that mirror that you can't see clearly, and it takes you a few swipes to get that off to where you can see in the mirror clearly. In John, chapter 12, I believe it is. Yeah, John chapter 12, verse 40, it says this: He has blinded their eyes and he has hardened their heart, so that they may not see with their eyes and perceive with their heart, and be converted, and I heal them. How true is that? That we get a fog, the way we look at things, the way we look at life, we might not see things clearly. And if you can't see things clearly, then it affects other parts of your body, or other parts of you, as the way you perceive stuff. That's what this passage is telling me, that if I can't see clearly and somebody's trying to convince me of something, I keep telling them no. Well, now my heart becomes hard, and I become reluctant to want to hear what they have to say. So just think about that when you're trying to witness to somebody. If they're not really seeing clearly what you're talking about, just move on. Just drop the conversation, because you're going to do more harm than good, because eventually the right person's going to come along to witness to them. And if you've continually browbeat them over something, they've hardened their hearts and they don't want to hear nothing about it. Pharaoh is a good example of that, from when Moses would ask him to command him to allow the Israelites to leave bondage, and he would let them go and then change his mind, let him go. And it got to the point where one of the plagues took his firstborn son, and he still wouldn't let the Israelites leave bondage. So we have to be careful. We have to protect ourselves on things that we hear, especially when it's pertaining to the Gospels. We need to not look at it through a hazy lens. We need to not have a hardened heart when people are trying to tell us about the Gospels, because then you just reject it, and that's not good, because at some point in time you keep telling God no, and he's slowly going to stop presenting himself to you, and that's no good. But even though there's despair, there's always hope. like I said, you wipe that mirror a number of times and eventually it becomes clear where you can see your reflection in the mirror clearly for whatever you're wanting to do. Women putting their makeup on, men shaving, so forth, whatever your morning ritual is. And it's the same with our heart. We need to keep it clear. We need to keep it open and willing to hear and accept, or not so much accept, but also willing to hear when somebody's speaking to us about the Gospels, about Christ, about Jesus Christ, our Savior. If you continually say no, at some point in time, God's not going to bother you anymore. And then now where are you at? So as you get ready today and you wipe that mirror after you've taken a shower and you wipe some of that fog off that mirror and it's still a little hazy, think about this. Are you seeing things clearly when it comes to the gospel, the Bible, its teachings? Or you still have just a little bit of film that you're trying to work through?